Hello, welcome to Monday Morning Matters live broadcast show brought to you by Magnicraft Consulting team, anchored by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the U.S. Here, each Monday of every week, we address important, relevant, and actionable topics of interest that will help you and your church grow healthier. And now, meet your host, Niyi Dunmade.
Welcome everyone to our Facebook live broadcast show. Thank you for hooking up with me again on Monday Morning Matters. My name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Thank you for hooking up with me. I'm so glad that you are part of this live broadcast. I'm a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting, also the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Okay, Magnicraft Consulting is a church consulting firm that helps churches grow healthier through empirical assessments, trainings, and strategic blueprints. Okay, so we do this every Monday. Monday morning, just to give you some actionable steps to grow your church as a church health guidance. A big thank you to everyone who is liking our posts, commenting, asking questions, reaching out to us in a timely manner on how our broadcast has been helpful to them. And so we want just to thank you. I had a host of pastors who were trained over the weekend at Abuja Church Growth Masterclass that Dr. Francis Akijon did. Thanks to him for bringing those pastors together, and we're able to do some shift in the spirit that will also reflect in our churches. Don't forget that the book Church Retention Pathway to Growth. Get your copy. People are getting their copies. Get your copy. Church Retention Pathway to Growth. It's a very fantastic book. I know a lot of pastors who are very worried and concerned that the church is not growing, but please just make sure you get this book, and then you will be able to see your church growing, because growth is all about retention. There's no way you can grow a healthy church without having good retention rate consistently. Okay, we're not talking about you having a high retention rate when your church is small, but you have to be consistent about your church retention rate over time, and that's what makes your church a mega church. One of the things I would say carefully here is that all living things grow, and so because they grow, all of them also have the same situation that they can die. If the situation is met correctly, living things usually die as much as they also grow. You do not know how many things you have accepted that is keeping you small. So there are barriers, there are limitations, there are deal breakers that you may not know that is restricting, inhibiting your church growth. Three things that I want to share with you, which are church growth myth. The myth of the desire myth. The desire myth is such that if your church isn't growing, it doesn't mean that there's an absence of desire for the church to grow. Okay, if you see that your church is not growing, it does not mean there's an absence of the desire for your church to grow. So what I'm saying is that you can have a desire for your church to grow and your church may not grow, because growth is a function of doing many things right. What is the love myth? if your church isn't growing, it doesn't mean that there is lack of love for the people in the community. Okay, you can have love for the people of the community and your church may not grow. Okay, the faithfulness myth, that's the third one. If your church isn't growing, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have not been faithful to the church growth principles. Okay, you can abide by the church growth principles and your church may not grow. Okay, because even in the life of a child, there's a certain time that it looks as if it's not growing, but it's growing inward. And by the time the child starts to grow, you can literally see the height changing, the weight changing, and the physical attributes also changing. Keep doing what is right all the time. Whether if you feel like, whether you don't feel like, keep doing what is right all the time, and surely your church will grow eventually, because growth is an end result of doing some things right. Growth is an end result of doing some things right. And so I want us to know that you have to get quite a lot of things in place for you to get your church to grow. Two church growth decisions that I want you to make. One is, I believe God wants church growth. Okay, I know some pastors who feel no, maybe I'm okay with 12, I'm okay with 10, I'm okay with 5. But the thing is that you have to have that decision and say, I believe God wants church growth. The second is, I want to see my church grow. That must be embedded in the subconscious mind of your church leadership. There are hindrances to church growth, but there's nothing you can do when you have a wrong mindset. The wrong mindset will always bring about the desired result that is already in your subconscious mind. So the thing is, most people ask the question, how do I get my church to grow? That's the wrong question. I can tell you that question is from a wrong mindset, because you are looking for what to do to get what you want. But the thing is, the right question is, what is keeping my church from growing? What is keeping my church from growing? Okay, by the time you look for the growth inhibitors, you look for those things that are stopping you from growing, then you remove those things, you will be able to see your church growing. That's the right question. What is keeping my church from growing? What is the inhibitors that is making my church not to grow? I'm going to quickly talk about 7 areas you need to address that is hindering your church from growing. 7 areas. Okay, I've done church growth 101, and this is like a continuation of those things. If you have missed those parts, go to my YouTube channel. You're going to see quite a lot of videos that I've done on how your church is going to grow. Number 1, I said 7 areas you need to look at closely, attentively, address closely that is hindering your church from growing. Okay, hindering your church from growing. And then number 1 is, have a concise, clear, and compelling vision and mission. You must have that concise, clear, and compelling vision and mission. Okay, your church is 100. What is your goal in terms of church growth? What is the things you need to do, the activities and the tasks that you need to do to make sure you achieve your goal? It must be clear, it must be concise, it must be vivid, compelling. Okay, compelling to make you to look into the future and say, this is what I want to grow. That's number 1. Number 2, identify your church target audience or member avatar. You see, Jesus was sent to the Lordship of Israel, and so every church, I believe, is sent to a people group. Okay, you cannot be beautiful to everybody, you cannot process everybody. You have to get a people group that you can address per time. So identify your church target audience or a member avatar. You know their demographics, you know their psychographics, you know who they are, because you cannot reach a people that you do not know. You cannot love someone you do not know. You cannot help or assist someone that you do not know that they exist. Sometimes some churches try to help people and they don't really know those help. But by the time you know them and you know their needs, you know what they want, you are able to reach out to that target audience, and the chances of you retaining is high because you are not chasing 2 or 3 rabbits at the same time. You are going for the target audience. You have the systems and the structure and processes in place to get them into your church and establish them into your church. Number 3, have a baked journey. What I mean by baked journey, something that takes them from the front door into the house, from your website, social media, whatever your front door platform is. What is the big journey? How do they go through all those journeys in such a way that they are interested for more, they are interested for more until they give you their commitment to join your church? Have a big journey. It might be a membership process, a discipleship process, but that big journey must be crystal clear, and you'll be able to watch the people movement from being first-timer guests or converts until they become established members of the church. Okay, have that bet. Sometimes some churches have this plan your visit on their website, so they get a lot of information from the website on what to wear, what to expect, what to do when they arrive at church. Car parking facilities, children facilities, and all those things. They are given information so that when they come to your church, they find the church friendly, they find the church warming enough for them to be part of the church. Number 4, have a solid membership class process to get them grounded and established. You see, one of the things why most people don't join churches because they don't know what is expected of them, and because they don't know what is expected of them, there's that guard that they have raised up to get them plugged into the church. So get the exposition clear from the day one that this is what is acceptable here, this is what is not acceptable here, and then you are able to reach out to all of them and get them to know what is expected of them and what the church also is going to give them in that regard. Okay, then after number 4, having a solid membership class process to get them grounded and established. Number 5, deliberately budget for outward activities. Naturally, every church wants to be inwardly focused, but you have to be intentional and deliberate about getting a sizable amount of your budget for outward activities, outward focused activities. Number 6, have a process to get people into small groups. Okay, as the church grows larger, you need to grow inwards more, and so that's how do you grow inwards, is making sure that you get people into the small groups so that they can get intimacy and fellowship. Have that process in place to get people involved into small groups. Then the last one is have the input and the feedback of outside eyes. Okay, if you're so used to what's going on inside, you might not know what's wrong. Okay, because you are already used to whatever is happening. But when you have fresh eyes come in, they're able to see things without getting used to what's going on. That's why you need to get a church consultant or get a guest shopper to just come see how the church is, and they give you the input, they give you their feedbacks. You see, a church that is not open to feedbacks will keep repeating mistakes, and nobody will be there to give them the caution that something has gone wrong in the church. So that's all the 7 things that I want to share today. So please feel free to drop me a comment. Let me know where you are calling from. Okay, please get my book, Church Retention, Pathway to Growth. Solid book with solid research work. Some people say it's like an academia book, but please read that book. Try to implement some of those things, and it will surely help you. I know the year is running to an end. The graph is going to go down the line, but do something. Okay, look at those hindrances, look at those inhibitors in your church growth, and let's see how the graph can also go up again in your church. Okay, hook up to all our social media handles, Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. Please hit up the subscription bell so that when we upload a new video, you'll be notified. You have any church-related questions or inquiries, let us have them through the chat box. I'm the receptionist of my company. I respond to every of the comments on the online, on social media handles. Sure, you're going to get a response from me and possibly a further engagement to any of your concerns. Perhaps your question may be just what we were going to deal with in the next subsequent Monday Morning Matters. Please feel free to share this video to a pastor, a church worker, a church leader, If it's helpful to you, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, share us to your community, drop us a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I also want to learn from you. Drop us a comment so that I see what you have, what statement that has been a punchy one from you. For you, we do consultations. We also do trainings. We help churches do strategy planning. Reach out to us and let's see how we can help your church move from where it is right now to where it ought to be. Till I come your way next week, Monday, again with another continuation of church retention pathway to growth. God bless you, and I say bye-bye. Thank you so much.